J.H. says tattooing is an odd and beautiful form of art. Very interesting and more expressive of sentiment than any other thing. It is more fascinating than costly jewelry and cannot be lost, borrowed, or stolen. It is a memento we keep through life and retain after death. A sure identification in case of need upon land or sea. The art has been patronized by all ranks and classes, including members of royalty, nobility, and society, Army and Navy, sportsmen, and travelers of the world. I got this tattoo because it represents my high school and where I came from. It is in fact an identity mark. Our mascot was the Red Knight, so I thought a shield was appropriate. But the true meaning behind this tattoo for me is to remember where I came from and all the people who have influenced my life. There is the potential of discrimination for me upon entering the workplace, even the chance that I might have difficulty obtaining a job. But I'm willing to take the risk to associate myself with this new generation of open-minded individuals who value determination and hard work over physical appearance. I'm proud to be part of this new generation. Generation Inc.
So what do you think?
I think it's so cool. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It's really awesome. That's great.
Cool.
Great.
You're happy, man.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Success!
Yeah.
It's just like any other socially dysfunctional, thing right now, you know what I mean? Whether it be creed, color, origin, wherever you from, whatever you do, it's the same thing. People are judgmental on it, and they're starting to open up mentally on the whole situation. It's like as far as tattoos go.
Like, I would be kind of surprised if I saw my doctor and he had a tattoo like all on his chest and everything, but I wouldn't judge him, I just would, because it's not normal to see every day a doctor or a lawyer, has tattoos. The society is judgmental, so, people go with the stereotypes. I'm a lawyer, so I have to be professional, so if I have a tattoo, you won't see it, or I'm a doctor, it's not supposed to be seen, so, it's just a whole bunch of stereotypes that people choose to follow, but I don't think it'll ever change. The world will change every day, but stereotypes have been almost the same for decades, so, I don't think they're going to change.
I actually have no idea whether there is truly discrimination, where it is, and has it waned, and so I don't know what the research is on that, if there is any at all. But I think there is this sort of notion that in the big business world and maybe the banking industry and places like that, that they're controlled and dominated by people that are in their 50s, 40s, 60s, whatever. And I think that that generation, there's still some that probably have a negative association or response to tattoos. So my suspicions are in certain industries, in certain businesses, folks doing hiring are not going to look favorably upon people with tattoos. But it probably is going to vary by industry or business. It's going to vary by sort of the age of the human resource people that do the hiring. It's also going to depend on whether or not the tattoos could be hidden. But I do think that there probably is some discrimination where if someone interviews, and you could do some pretty easy research studies. There's all kinds of experimental research studies where they'll send a white person and a black person with the same credentials. And they've done that on TV, but they've done social science research as well. And the white person might be more likely to get hired. You can sort of vary the characteristics. So you could probably do an easy research project would be send someone in with full sleeves, someone else, have the person with full sleeves have the same or better credentials, and then see who would be more likely to get hired. I would suspect that a lot of tattoos, full sleeves or prominent tattoos or facial tattoos probably would hurt you in certain sectors of employment sectors. What'll be interesting to see is if it's not a fad, if this becomes a trend, might be the term. Some people argue like fashions have trends, and so they might cycle, so like short skirts are in for a while, then long skirts, but it's not like short skirts are looked terribly upon and then it's just a matter of cycling in. So if tattoos become more of a trend, or they become something that's very widely accepted, let's say in 10 or 15 years, to see whether there'd still be discrimination. The prediction would be the more that it's not just a fad and something that really is embraced by your generation. As your generation assumes more power, tattoos may be irrelevant to jobs, or it might be something that you bond with the potential employer because they see your sleeve and they say, oh wow, that's really cool, and then they show you their sleeve. That might be the future.
In terms of acceptability in the workplace for having a tattoo, it really all depends on the type of job.
I guess it all depends on the job as well.
In the past, it's had a bad stigma.
Tattoos will eventually become socially acceptable.
And tattooed people kind of gotten basically thrown into a group of, delinquents.
I think they're becoming more acceptable because more people are having tattoos.
I think if you're going to have tattoos, it's your own personal business. I don't think that, your workplace should get involved in your personal issues. If you want to get a tattoo, that's your decision.
A lot more people out there that do wear a suit and tie to work every day do have tattoos underneath that. So it's kind of just our generation, and I think as we get older and older, it'll be more lenient. So I don't really worry about it too much.
I think it's definitely opening up more. It's not so much, if you have a tattoo, you can't get hired, because a lot of people have tattoos, and really in the workforce, you're not really showing your arms that much anyway. So, you can feel free to get tatted, and I don't think the employer would mind too much.
They may not become necessarily wanted or sought after, but it may adjust.
You won't have to hide them in your job interviews with long sleeve t-shirts or whatever.
I think it's a good form of not even just expressing yourself, but just having something as a reminder to you.
It's good to look professional, but if you want to express yourself in your body, that's your own deal.
I think that our generation is a lot less judgmental.
In the business aspect of things, please wear long sleeves.
I think there's always going to be people who stereotype people with they're fully covered or have sleeves or just a bunch in one spot, but I know that there's definitely people out there that think some of them look classy, and I think with our generation coming up, since we're more acceptable of it and it's more the thing, that maybe later on it'll be more acceptable than it is now.